Welcome again, everyone. It's June 2022. This is an introduction to your monthly forecast, what I call the Oracle Express. And this month is pretty important because there are a few retrograde movements going on. Currently, right now, Mercury retrograde in the sign of Taurus. And I wanted to talk about retrogrades in a slightly different manner this month. You hear about the, muddle-headedness, the incoherent speech, forgetfulness, all that sort of stuff. But I wanted to talk about the retrograde planets, and in particular Mercury this month, from the vantage point of your karma and how that is linked to this whole process of universal law. Retrogrades apparently move backwards. It's more of a relative phenomenon where a planet apparently, with respect to other planets, seems to be moving a little slower and therefore appears to be going backwards. And that in a way too also represents the higher non-dualistic philosophy of karma, in that it's all really an illusion anyhow. So that's the first point. The second point is that the retrogression is in its apparent reverse motion looking back, which is why they say with retrograde planets there's an element of revision, a reassessment of things. And so in life, with this karmic process, actions we perform, the words we say, the relationships we enter into are often beset with a lot of difficulties, errors of judgment, and therefore that is the way in which we learn our lessons, retrospectively going back, if we're spiritually mature individuals, going back over the past and doing a little bit of self-analysis to see where we could have handled the situation a lot better. Through that process, we learn to sidestep those problems in future. So whilst we hate retrogrades, there is a deeper spiritual significance, a positive one, which we should all embrace. Now, the other point I wanted to make here is if you have a look at Mercury here in the chart, notice its close proximity to the North Node, Rahu, which indeed is another important karmic factor in the horoscope. Actually, every planet is a karmic factor, but this one, along with Saturn, is deemed to be a pretty significant component of one's karma. And when we see it in the horoscope, we can see precisely where some of the challenges will arise. Usually, North Node is a very clear pointer to the desire nature, because it's our desires that fuel the karma. Without desire, there is no karma. Desire is the fuel which propels the vehicle of transmigration, as they say. So I find it interesting that Mercury, retrograde right now, is in very close proximity to that North Node, the preeminent karmic planet. And therefore Mercury is empowered. In fact, both these planets are interesting because the North Node and the South Node usually give the results of the planet that they are associated with. And Mercury also is a chameleon-like planet, which assumes the nature of the planet that it too is associated with, and also the gender of the sign in which it's placed. In this case, it's in the sign of Taurus, which is a female sign. North Node also is considered female. Therefore, there's a blending of the energies here of the North Node, karmic point, and retrograde Mercury, empowering Mercury with a lot more karmic persuasion. And therefore, I think for all of us, this retrograde point of Mercury is going to teach us all some very valuable lessons. It's in the earth sign of Taurus, which is a very practical, material, financial sign. It's also very, very sensual. Might that account for some of the problems that we're seeing in the markets the massive drop in the value of cryptocurrency just now. I think Bitcoin has dropped about 50 to 53%. Luna, the other cryptocurrency, one of the many thousands, has gone to zero. So they're the sorts of things that happen under this karmic component of the retrograde planet and a balancing of the universal account sheet. You know, we often think that, you know, when we have a dire loss, that it's a tragedy, when in fact everything that happens to us is a consequence of our past karma, and therefore this is simply payback. And that is a good attitude to take when confronted by losses, setbacks, challenges, that these are all part and parcel of the process of growth, a balancing act, so to speak. And in that way, embracing the karmic law assures us of more peace of mind, in that we can see a deeper, broader, more just reason and cause for why the things that are happening to us are happening. So consider that, for the most part, this retrograde movement of Mercury will continue until June 3rd, at which point it goes direct. And then later in the month, the retrograde Saturn taking place. Let me have a look at this. I need my eyes on the 5th. That's going to, in a sense, take over the karmic portfolio of Mercury on the last couple of days of the month. Neptune, also a very strong karmic planet, representative of Mahamaya, the veiling influence of the process of creation, will also go retrograde. So it's a powerful month, one in which I think revision is necessary and which affords us the opportunity to make greater sense of who we are, where we're going, through that retrospective analysis of the little faux pas we've made, hopefully with a view to, you know, much better decisions in future. Now, I'm going to talk about your individual star sign. Tune in now as I go through the monthly horoscopes for each of the 12 signs of the zodiac. See you there.